No doubt about it, Evan, and Dusty May told us that Tennessee wants Armageddon today. That's the type of game he's expecting as we take a look at the starting lineups. And for the Volunteers, Felix Okpara coming off his second double-double of the year. And Michigan, Nimari Burnett, Chicago native, playing here at home. Our officials, Jeffrey Anderson, Gregory Nixon, Bart Lennox, underway in Chicago. The winner will play Arizona in the Final Four.
Well, one thing to keep an eye on is Tennessee. They've only played 12 possessions of zone all year, so we're not going to see that from them. From Michigan, we could see a little bit more. This Tennessee team, tremendous defensively at protecting the paint.
Morez Johnson in the paint. Sends it out to Burnett for three. It won't go. And Morez Johnson crashing into the Tennessee bench. Looks like everyone's okay. It's Volunteers ball.
He really goes after this. Morez Johnson, he didn't play great the other day, so they need him to step up, especially in a game that is probably going to be won or lost in that paint. Both teams really tough in there.
Tennessee advanced by defeating Iowa State on Friday, and they crushed the Cyclones on the glass, out-rebounding them by 21. Okpara around Johnson, doesn't get the bounce, and the rebound to Michigan.
Yeah, that's what you want to make him do. Make him shoot a turnaround. There's a good play by Gillespie there.
Over to Boswell for three, and Tennessee is on the board first.
Boswell has been really good in this tournament. In his last two games, 17 assists, 1 turnover, but he's making three-point shots, which is huge for the Volunteers.
Michigan down by 9 early against Alabama, came back to beat the Tide in the Sweet 16, 90-77.
But you know what? The pace we had in that one, Andrew, I don't think we're going to get that in this one today.
A little different today.
Tennessee wants this to be a slow game.
Cadeau with the shot clock winding down. He comes up short, and it goes out of bounds. And it's going to be Tennessee basketball. And now they're saying it's going to be Michigan ball. Tennessee bench thought they were going to get possession, but you can see it hit Estrella last, so a good call there.
Absolutely. Both these teams amongst the national leaders in scoring in the paint and in not allowing people to score in the paint. Who's going to win out in this game?
Mara with the jam. There's a paint point for you, and 2 of them, in fact.
You know, we talked about it the other day. This is a better game for Mara than the game against Alabama. This is going to be a big man's game, half court. He was kind of gassed the other day running up and down against Alabama. This is right up his alley, as you saw there.
And Okpara and Morez Johnson already jawing underneath the basket here. Loose ball rebound to Boswell, and that's what Tennessee does. Gillespie, a deep three. Lindeborg, the rebound.
The #1 offensive rebounding team in the country, Tennessee. They are one of 3 teams since 2000 to rebound 45% of their misses. That is an incredible number.
Rick Barnes says it's part of our identity. Here's Mara again. Amen pokes it away. Right to Burnett. Amen is there again. And a whistle. And Rick Barnes doesn't like that call.
Yeah, you're going to see Mara here give a little elbow there to start.
And then Amen commits the foul, and that was a part of the issue for Amen against Iowa State. Foul trouble. He still managed to score 18 points, but he has to be very careful in that department today.
Yeah, he absolutely does, because there's 2 guys that make Tennessee go. It's Gillespie and Amen. They're the lead. When they play well, everybody else kind of follows along, so he's got to be out on the floor. Rick Barnes told us yesterday he wants this game played in the middle third of the floor. If you get on the sidelines against a team like Michigan, they're going to keep you there. You want to play in the middle, if at all possible.
Burnett makes both free throws, and the Wolverines go up by 1.
Amen with a big size advantage on Nimari Burnett.
Boswell bounces it, Okpara right at Mara, and a foul is called. Now the Michigan bench can't believe it. A lot of Michigan fans here in Chicago today.
Yeah, he dives hard after the pick and roll of Parra. Yeah, that is clean. Doesn't get much cleaner than that one.
Dusty May, usually pretty reserved on the sideline. He was hot at the end of the first half against Alabama. Wasn't happy with some of the calls, along with some of the decision-making of his Wolverines. But you don't see him too fired up that often.
But you got to keep an eye on Tennessee's free throw shooting. They don't shoot fouls very well.
Boswell, that three not there after Okpara missed two, but another foul called on Michigan.
You know, one of the reasons why Tennessee's such a good offensive rebounding team is because neither Okpara or Estrella are three-point shooters. So where are they going to be? They're going to be down on the block. So they're always in offensive rebounding position because they don't play out on the perimeter at all.
And Rick Barnes also said they're good at it because they miss a lot of shots.
Yeah, he said they do the Moses Malone.
That factors in as well.
They certainly did that the other day. They missed a bunch of layups. A lot of physicality. I mean, I don't know.
Ament gets it back. Shot clock at 7. Ament knocks over Cadeau and scores.
This guy is a big time player. He had 18 points the other day. Oh, Gillespie's got another.
What a play by Gillespie. He gets to his feet, and he missed it. Boswell misses. Estrella does not.
That's twice that Michigan has fallen asleep with a lazy pass that Gillespie read and took it.
Gillespie now 4 steals away from the all-time season record at Tennessee, and Cadeau with a counter. Boswell will set things up. Rick Barnes telling us before the season, didn't think Boswell would even make the starting lineup. What a key cog he has been for the Vols as that one's knocked out. And it's Tennessee basketball, and it takes us to a timeout. There will be 8 seconds on the shot clock when we come back. Jacoby Gillespie has been hot early. A spot in the Final Four on the line. Let's take a look at advanced stats presented by Invesco QQQ.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan is one of the elite half-court offensive teams in the country. As you see there, 5th in the NCAA. But what makes them elite is they have guys that can score in the low post, which they do on the regular basis, like Mara did earlier in this game, catching it in the low post area, and he's able to finish. He has a great touch. This team will go inside. They'll go inside to Morris Johnson. They'll go inside to Lendenborg when they have the opportunity.
That was a look from our AT&T connected cam. Already 6 offensive rebounds for the Volunteers in the first 4+ minutes.
That's like impossible. How could you have 6?
Well, they've missed 8 shots.
That'll do it. But still, they got 75% of the misses. That's unbelievable. Like my math?
I did. You're on it today with everything. Selling the moment, math, you name it.
Oh, aggressive double in the corner there.
And Roddy Gale is called for the foul. That is the 3rd on the Wolverines in the first half.
Roddy Gale and Trey McKinney came off the bench the other day and just lit it up.
Jalen Carey is checked in for Tennessee. Ament turnaround, that's well short, and the rebound is grabbed by Gale.
Jalen Carey with a double-double in the Sweet 16.
Burnett, and it will stay with Michigan. Coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship Elite 8 continues tomorrow at 7 on ESPN. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. And the Michigan women are in the Elite 8 against Texas. Johnson right at Okpara. Johnson trying to muscle his way through, and he draws the foul.
I mean, I don't know. Our cameraman is kind of in my way, but that looked like a travel to me.
Now you're calling out Cheese, our cameraman?
That is a travel. I don't mean to be calling out Cheese.
Yeah,
that's a travel. I mean, clearly a travel.
Foul is on Okpara, and it will send Morez Johnson Jr. to the free throw line.
I'm surprised. That wasn't that hard to miss.
There's Cheese, a legend in the business, and I think you owe him an apology.
I'm sorry, Cheese. I can't mess with my man Cheese.
Yeah,
no,
please
he's with
don't.
us all the time.
Yeah, I know. He accepts. Thumbs up from Cheese. Morez Johnson, a transfer from Illinois, which advanced to the Final Four yesterday. And Johnson grew up about 30 minutes south of Chicago in Riverdale, Illinois.
Really struggled to finish against Alabama. I think against Alabama the other day, Andrew, score was probably like 18-16 already.
It was a lot of threes early in that game. Different pace today as Johnson comes out and Mara returns.
Little bit of token pressure from Michigan there. And I'll tell you what, Tennessee, they get it down under 4 seconds a lot.
Ament, no. Gets his own miss, looking for some help, and throws it off Mara. Heads up play by Nate Ament. Most points per game by a Tennessee freshman since Allen Houston. And the 7th offensive rebound already by Tennessee. Ament off the inbound, and he's fouled. Ament went down hard, a little slow to get up.
Very, very smart play by Ament to just duck in quickly there and get in front of his man.
And that's a big foul call because it's number 2 on Mara. So less than 5 minutes in, Mara picks up his second.
You're talking about top 3 shot blocker in the country. Has a lot to do with that great Michigan defense.
And Morez Johnson Jr. at the scorer's table. He'll come right back in. Watch the Men's Elite 8 live on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Download now to stay up to date on all the action. So Mara to the bench. We'll see if he's there the rest of the half.
Dusty May's not a guy who plays you in the first half a lot with 2 fouls. But, you know, when you have a guy sit for 15 minutes, you worry about how he's going to be in the second half. So let's see what Dusty May does.
Slow start for Yaxel Lendeborg. He's got the ball here, but right back to Cadeau.
And you can see Tennessee, they switch everything.
Lendeborg misses the 3, and Jalen Carey with the rebound.
They're owning the glass right now.
That was the first shot attempt today for Yaxel. And Gillespie took his eye off it. And those are the kinds of turnovers that Rick Barnes has seen all year with his Volunteers program.
Yeah, they lost a bunch of games, like 5 games under 6 points, and a lot of times it came down to turnovers and missed free throws.
43 turnovers in the first 3 games of the tournament for Tennessee, the most of any team. Cadeau. March Roddy makes an early appearance for Michigan.
I know Rick Barnes not going to be happy about it. Somebody missed the box out pretty good.
Gillespie, a 3. Morez Johnson Jr., the rebound and a foul is called on Tennessee.
That was a tough 3 to take over Lendeborg, who's 6'9", for Jacoby Gillespie. Let's see here, Roddy Gale comes flying in. Nobody puts a body on him, which is a rarity for these Tennessee Volunteers.
And now Tennessee's big man, Felix Okpara, picks up his second foul and goes to the bench.
They do have some depth in that spot with Jalen Carey coming off the bench, who's in the game now.
Gillespie with those 2 early steals, but he's 0 for 5 from the floor. Estrella on Lendeborg. Yaxel wants to take him. He wins that matchup.
Now that is a strong move.
8-2 run for Michigan.
This game is pretty physical already, Andrew.
Just what we expected.
Both teams switching aggressively on defense. Ament on Cadeau. Big difference in height. Nice pass.
Boswell in the corner. And Roddy Gale the rebound. Cadeau, nice pass. McKinney a three. McKinney had that huge game against Alabama. 17 points off the bench for the Wolverines. Estrella makes a tough catch around Johnson. That's a pretty move for J.P. Estrella.
And you said it, Andrew. That was a great catch. The catch is what made that play. You bounce past a ball like that to a 6'11" guy, and it's not a great pass, and he gets it. He did a good job.
Lindeborg thought about a three, drives right by Carey, and he is fouled. Jalen Carey commits the Tennessee foul. And now each team has been charged with 4 fouls in the first half. Amari Evans and Ethan Berg check in for Tennessee. And quickly off the bench is Burnett for Michigan.
You know, they got 23 minutes out of Ethan Berg the other day. He didn't score, but he had 1 turnover in those 23 minutes, and he handled the ball a lot. He's doing a pretty good job in this NCAA tournament in his role.
So far in this game, we've had 8 field goals made and 8 fouls committed.
Good job by Estrella there on that quick switch to Amari Burnett. Doubling on the...
Had the size advantage on Berg, but comes up short.
Yeah, they said they were going to double on the bounce, and that's what they did there. Oh, Carey's got size advantage there. Oh, good defense, Morris Johnson.
Cut over and knocked it out of bounds. Rick Barnes, not the first time he's been matched up with Dusty May in the NCAA tournament. They met in the 2023 Sweet 16 at Madison Square Garden, and Dusty May's FAU team beat Tennessee. And Dusty said he did go back and look at that tape just for a few little reminders of the way that Barnes likes to play.
Because Dusty's playing completely different than he played then.
Gillespie with his first field goal.
You leave him alone, he takes good shots, he's making them. But we were talking about that. Dusty May at FAU was playing small, now he's playing huge.
McKinney, tough shot for 2.
This kid is built like a linebacker in the NFL. And he can really shoot it.
Dusty May told us he thinks he's going to be a top guard in the Big Ten by the time he is done with his career at Michigan.
How about by like next year?
Maybe next week. Carey is fouled. And Jalen Carey will go to the free throw line when we come back. Already 4 ties and 6 lead changes in this game. Tennessee and Michigan all square at 14. Back in Chicago and during the timeout, Evan with Dusty May.
Coach, in this style of game, what's required to play it on your terms?
Well, we've got to adjust. They've stolen 2 of our outlet passes. We've got to ball fake the outlet and push off the break. They have 5 of their 14 points off of 2 turnovers off outlets.
How long can you afford to keep Mara on the bench?
We're going to have to go back with him. We're just going to play it, see how the game goes the next few minutes.
Dusty, thanks.
That's it.
Those 2 turnovers were big because Michigan wants this game faster. Tennessee wants it slower, so they threw 2 outlet passes. They got intercepted. So, as Dusty said, they've got to fake that pass, but they still have to pursue the running game.
Jalen Carey at the line for 2, the son of former NFL offensive lineman Vernon, who is here today. And over the weekend, Rick Barnes said that he's probably been harder on Jalen Carey than any other player this year. And his teammates agreed when we asked him yesterday. But Jalen Carey said, yeah, I thought he's a little crazy at first, but my dad played for Nick Saban, and he told me that hard coaching is the only way to get better. And Vernon Carey encouraged his son, stick with it with Coach Barnes, and now Jalen Carey has become a force for Tennessee here in March.
He is a force. He moves those feet so well. He's so strong, and let me tell you something. For a big guy, he can get off the ground.
Berg, and he got his hand up on top of McKinney with the shot clock at 11.
I think that was one of those fouls they weren't going to call it until they saw there was going to be an advantage for Tennessee, because I think that whistle came a little bit late. I mean, it's a foul. There's no question. I think they were going to let it go, but then they saw when McKinney was going to lose the ball, they called it.
Five fouls against Tennessee with 11 minutes to go. Michigan also with 5. Freshman Amari Evans defending Lendeborg. Now Johnson inside. Good defense by Carey, but a foul is called.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good defense.
That's the second on Jalen Carey.
Wow. It looked like he was backing up, right? I mean, I don't know about that one.
So now Tennessee has 2 on Carey and 2 on Okpara.
That's a problem.
They have Dwayne Brown at the scorer's table set to check in, and Nate Ament will return as well. Get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com.
It's not a surprise that both these teams, since they're among the nation leaders in paint points, are both trying to really get it inside.
Johnson hearing it from the Tennessee fans as he misses the second free throw, and Evans the rebound.
Evans snatched that rebound.
There's a look at the foul situation. 3 players with 2 apiece. Dwayne Brown, the freshman, has checked in. Defended by Will Cheddar, who's also on the floor for Michigan. And a steal by McKinney. Gillespie is back. McKinney right by him, and a rejection by Brown.
Wow.
Ament the other way. Off glass, no. And the rebound comes out to Evans, who's fouled. That was only the 3rd time a Michigan player has been blocked in the NCAA tournament.
Well, Dwayne Brown had a bad turnover, but he sure as heck made up for it with this. Oh.
Michigan fans are upset at the call at the other end. Yeah, a little Mutombo in the crowd there. And Mora steals it. That's why he guards the inbound. Lendeborg flying the other way, right at Ament, and Yaxel is fouled.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got a big guy like that guarding you on the out of bounds, you got to go low. You certainly can't go high with the pass. You got to go low with the pass. And this is Lendeborg just taking that thing hard to the basket.
So that was the 7th team foul on Tennessee with still 10:13 to go. Michigan shooting the rest of the way. These are 2 shots here for Lendeborg.
And I think it's a good move by Dusty May to bring Mara back in the game with the 2 fouls. He got his second foul with like 15:40 to go in the half. He would have had to sit for way too long in terms of what he would be able to do in the second half.
And he kind of alluded to that when he chatted with Evan during the last media timeout as well.
I'll tell you, this game, Andrew, really choppy. Not a lot of flow, a lot of fouls.
Lendeborg rattles it in. And Roddy Gale returns, and McKinney heads out. Sixth time Michigan has won at least 30 games in a season. They're 34-3 entering this one. And Okpara hops off the bench with 2 fouls set to check in. Brown defended by Mara. Out to Gillespie for 3. Doesn't get the bounce, and a foul is called on Brown.
They're shooting already.
And that's the 2nd foul on Dwayne Brown.
Yeah, I mean, he got under his arm there.
So Brown, Carey, and Okpara with 2. And Rick Barnes doesn't have a choice. He's putting Okpara back on the floor.
And, you know, when you play Tennessee, because they're a very physical team, you're always concerned about the whistle. What kind of whistle is it going to be? Well, right now, a lot of fouls are being called. And for the next 10 minutes, Michigan's going to be shooting free throws.
Mara makes the front end. We chatted with Mara yesterday. He said he hasn't been back to Spain since last summer. His family did come around the holidays, and he said that if Michigan wins today, his parents are planning on coming to the Final Four next week in Indianapolis. 2 out of 2 from the line for Mara.
And Elliot Cadeau is really doing a good job on Jacoby Gillespie. Not giving him anything easy. Now the switch, Cheddar's on him.
Estrella with Lendeborg on him. Estrella over Lendeborg, and no, tipped around and grabbed by Cheddar. Fans love that with Cheddar and Lendeborg. Oh, what a play! The reverse and the foul.
My goodness. This is definitely a my goodness. I mean, he goes to the other side, but he's not on the other side.
Now, Tennessee is arguing that Roddy Gale got to the rim before. And they want the officials to take a look at that.
I think from having seen it the first time, it looked like the ball was already through when he touched the rim. But let's see. Well, they're not looking at it. And there was no call, so it can't be reviewed.
And the foul was on Okpara. So a three-point play and the third foul on Okpara, Gene Steratore.
Yeah, to me, guys, I don't think Gale touched the basketball, but coach is right. Without a call on the court, you can't review it.
All right, Gene, thank you very much. So the momentum has shifted, an 8-0 run for the Wolverines. And Okpara back to the bench with 3 fouls. Carey comes back on with 2 fouls. To the corner, and Boswell. And Mara the rebound. Tennessee is now 2 of 9 from beyond the arc. Gale, transition 3. It's good!
They need the timeout for sure.
And Gene Steratore is back with us. And Gene, take us through that big play by Lendeborg again.
Well, you can see right now by this shot we have, when Gale goes up, he swings there, but when he comes back with that left hand, you can see it hit the basketball right there before it's cleared the rim. That would have been offensive goaltending and should have been removed. Tough angle for the officials there, guys, to just not see that tip of that ball on the top end. But really, with the review or with the call on the court, it would have been something they could review. But without a whistle, not something we can review.
All right, Gene, thank you very much. It's an 11-0 run for Michigan, and during the run, Yaxel has 5 points and an assist. There is some good foul news for Tennessee, if there's such a thing, but Dwayne Brown's first foul was changed to Amari Evans, so Brown now has 1 and Evans with 1.
No, the big problem right now is Gillespie and Amen are 1 for 12 between them. That's the real problem.
That's an issue. The 1-2 punch we talked about right off the top of the broadcast.
You know, but Michigan is a tremendous, they need a basket. They got to try and take that to the basket.
Tennessee with 9 offensive rebounds, but only 2 in the last 6.5 minutes.
Well, you know, one of the Tennessee's problems, Andrew, is they're the #1 offensive rebounding team in the country, but they're number 260 in finishing offensive rebound. They struggle on putbacks.
Cadeau out to Gale, extra pass Lendeborg. Now Cadeau in the corner, it's good! And with that basket, Elliot Cadeau goes over 1,000 points for his career. And a media timeout as Michigan is riding a 14-0 run.
Michigan on a roll now, in transition, in the half court, wherever. 28-16.
Beautiful day in Chicago, and right now Michigan on a 14-0 run as we take a look at our game summary. And during this run, Yaxel Lendeborg has scored or assisted on 11 of the 14 points. A moment ago, Evan with Rick Barnes.
Coach, what's most concerning with that 14-0 run from Michigan?
Well, it's not that as much as it is the foul trouble where we had to start mixing and matching some things. But, I mean, they're an explosive team. We know that. We've got to still be better on the offensive end. But the fouls have got us in a little bind here, but we'll work through it.
Yeah, how do you coach against it?
Well, we're going to have to keep playing these guys, and we have to keep doing it. But I think we got to get more aggressive going to the basket, too, and not put so much on Jacoby. We just got to do what got us here. And we've been through it before. We just got to bow up and go after it.
Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Well, there's no doubt that when you play against a Rick Barnes team, he's hoping for a liberal Wilson because they play physical, and that's not happening today.
Gillespie and Amen a combined 2 for 12. Evans lost it. Estrella bails him out, and he'll go up with it, and he misses.
And the thing about this Michigan team, let's not forget, they are not only elite offensively, they're elite defensively, too. Number 2 in the nation defensive field goal percentage.
Mara working around Estrella. What a move by the big guy.
And Rick Barnes talked about doubling him, but when he bounced it, that time, no bounce. I know, you better think about coming after him.
Evans too strong on the 3. Mara the rebound. Tennessee in a scoring drought that's approaching 5 minutes. And after a turnover, the Volunteers give it right back.
No answers right now for this Michigan defense. None.
Mara comes out. Dusty May's done a good job of navigating Mara with the 2 fouls in the first half.
And that's why I think Rick Barnes was telling his guys, take it at them. They really have not been aggressive trying to drive the ball, but give Michigan's defense credit.
Michigan started 4 of 11, but since then, they've made 5 of their last 6. Cadeau sends it to the corner. Extra pass. Lendeborg wide open.
This is good offense, let me tell you.
A little glance at the Tennessee bench after that 3 went down. And it's a 19-0 run. Gillespie can't end it. Johnson the rebound. Lendeborg, Gale. And Gale will reset. 19 points in 4.5 minutes and 2 more for Burnett. And Rick Barnes calls another timeout. Yaxel Lendeborg already with 10 points and 3 assists.
Yeah, I mean, you see why he's the player of the year in the Big Ten, and probably will come in second for player of the year voting in general, probably to Cam Boozer, but he shoots threes. He has 3 assists in this game so far. He makes his teammates better. He shoots a great percentage. He's just an overall tremendous player.
At the 11-minute mark, it was 16-14 Tennessee. And wow, have things changed. Estrella still can't end the run, and it's taken away by Cadeau.
I mean, they can't do anything.
Lendeborg steps into a 3. Estrella wasn't ready for it, and a turnover by the Vols. Burnett could not make the catch, and Michigan gives it right back as we check in with Evan.
When Yaxel's going on a run, he's probably hearing his mom in his ear, and he says he's literally hearing his mom yell. They have a specific noise or sound that he said he can hear amongst a loud arena. It's almost as if it's a bird chirping or a kissing sound, and he said it gets him into attack mode, and whatever she's doing, it's working, fellas.
For sure.
The relationship between those two, very special, been documented throughout the season here at Michigan. But Yaxel said She believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Carry for 2, and that ends the run. Tennessee had missed its previous 10 shots before that one went in.
Well, let's face it, you know, Michigan is a huge team.
Foul. That Tennessee bucket ended a drought of 5 minutes and 43 seconds in length.
And they finally took one to the basket. It's almost like Rick Barnes has to coach this game, not worrying about fouls right now, because you got to start, you got to figure like this. You're down 17 points to a team that's a juggernaut offensively. That's a lot of points to make up.
Every bracket buster and every buzzer beater. CBS Sports HQ has your tournament highlights, plus wall-to-wall coverage across the sports world. Streaming free 24/7. Elliot Cadeau transferred from North Carolina, and when he got to Ann Arbor to move into his apartment, who was there waiting to help him move furniture but Dusty May? Cadeau said he couldn't believe that a coach would come and help him, and I've got to be honest, I can't imagine Steve Lapin.
Oh, see, I knew you were going to say that.
Moving an end table for Terry Kittles back in the day either.
If I knew he was going to be an All-American, I would have.
But Dusty May, that kind of guy, that kind of team here at Michigan, as Cadeau puts it in. A 20-point Michigan advantage. 16-8 in the paint in favor of the Wolverines.
And I know this Michigan team has scored 90 points on many, many occasions this year, but this defense is really good too.
Estrella misses. Tennessee is 6 for 30. Yaxel cross-court pass, wide open Gale. And Lendeborg is fouled, going for the rebound. It is all blue right now. 38-18, Michigan. Take a look at our tournament summary. And at the bottom, if Michigan wins this one and Duke beats UConn later today on CBS, it'll be the 7th time that 3 or more 1 seeds have advanced to the Final Four. And right now, Michigan looking good, looking great. During a 24-2 run, Michigan is 7 for 10, and Tennessee 1 of 13.
And think about this, Andrew. Tennessee only has 1 guy with more than 1 basket in the game. And that's Estrella.
He's 2 for 7 as a team, 6 for 30. Cheddar back in for Johnson. Had a good chat with Lendeborg yesterday, who everyone heard the story in high school, only played 12 high school games, didn't have good grades, played video games so much, and his mom had to take the video game system away. We asked him, all right, everyone talks about this. When is the last time you played video games? And he laughed and he confessed it was a few days ago. So he doesn't play as much as he did in high school, but he's still playing MLB The Show and NBA 2K. Last Tennessee foul was on Gillespie. That's his 2nd now. Carey. Turnaround is there.
You know, he's a guy who has the physicality to deal with the physicality of Michigan's defense. You know, Estrella and how about Okpara being in the game? Okpara with 3 fouls. But I agree with Rick Barnes.
Lendeborg for 3.
No, Brown is in, not Okpara.
41-20 Michigan, and a foul inside against the Wolverines, and that'll be their 7th. It'll be a 1-and-1 for Tennessee. Cheddar commits his first.
How about Lendeborg, though? I mean, you know, Dusty May told us that he wasn't sure that this lineup was going to work. Now, it's not in there now. The Mara, Lendeborg, Morris Johnson lineup. He didn't think it was going to work because of lack of skill. Well, Lendeborg has played like a college 3-man. Actually, like a college 2-man, even at 6'9".
And a foul called on Tennessee.
I think they got Brown pushing off.
They did call it on Brown, and that's his 2nd.
Yeah.
Free throws have not been pretty for Tennessee. 4 for 7 today. And 70% in the NCAA tournament, 69% for the year. Coming up, AT&T at the half. Nate Burleson, Clark Kellogg, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, and Bruce Pearl will break down our first half and look ahead to the epic Elite Eight matchup between UConn and Duke.
You know, Andrew, this is how they missed some free throws too, but this is how Michigan played the first like 10 games of the year when they were beating everybody by 30. They came out of the gate so strong. This is what they did, and that's why Dusty May was telling us we could play better than we played against Alabama. They're doing that now.
Michigan has won 27 games by double figures this year, including all 3 in the NCAA tournament, and that's going to be a goaltend. Count the basket for Jalen Carey.
He's their offense right now because he's able with that big body to get deep position, and getting bumped a little bit doesn't bother him.
Carey has scored the last 6 for Tennessee. And now the officials are going to the monitor.
They must have challenged it.
And haven't been told yet. Yes, an official review. Dusty May challenging the call.
Challenging the goaltend, right? Which you can because they made a call. It hit the backboard first, I think.
Officials are going to the monitor. We'll be right back. Steratore is with us, and what do you see here, Gene?
By rule, guys, I think to me this is a great shot. In my opinion, Gales hits this ball before it hits the glass, and to me it's still on its upward trajectory. I think it's a good challenge, in my opinion, by Dusty May. I think they take that away. This is a different look from above. I can't really tell you where that finger is in relation to the glass, so there's nothing conclusive on that angle there. If he's touching it, as we saw in the first one, I feel like that hand is hitting that basketball right here, and I still feel like the basketball's going up. To me, that's a good block.
That's the look that we need. That last look there, absolutely, it was hit. And that other look that we saw, it looked like they hit the backboard first. It did not hit the backboard first. That's a good block.
There was a close goaltending call earlier in the game, but goaltending wasn't called, so you can't challenge it if it's not called. In this case, it was called, and that's why Michigan is allowed to challenge.
This angle not as easy. You can't tell if it hit the backboard or not, but in the other one we did. Now they got to get the clock right.
Jeffrey Anderson, Gregory Nixon, Bart Lennox, our crew today, Gene.
Other piece I would be looking at is if they do say that's a good block, it will be what the status of the basketball was when they made the call. If it's a loose basketball, they'll go to the alternating possession arrow prior to Ludenberg getting possession. If the whistle's blown at this point, that ball is loose by rule and would be an AP arrow ruling and not possession Michigan on that, fellas. That may be the other piece they're looking at.
And here comes Bart Lennox to fill us in.
However, Jeff blows his whistle before anyone has possession. Therefore, it's possession.
Yeah, Jeff Anderson blew his whistle before. It was a good block. Jeff Anderson blew his whistle before anyone had possession. So in that situation, you go to the arrow.
So Michigan wins the challenge, but it is Tennessee basketball because of the arrow.
Michigan's challenge is successful. There is no goaltend. The ball will be placed on the baseline for Tennessee with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
All right, Gene Steratore, thank you. And 2:48 to go on the clock, 41-20. Substitutions for Tennessee. Estrella and Boswell back as we send it over to Evan Washburn.
Dusty May makes the call, but it's a successful challenge for that guy. Jacob Cohn, director of analytics, as in this tournament we're starting to learn the guys that are holding that tablet, a lot of pressure. Talked to him early in the week. He said, we'll be aggressive early in games, which is different than most teams. They like to save their challenges for the second half, but anything around the rim and they feel like they can get it, they'll go for it.
Evan, thank you very much as Gillespie hits from the outside.
Well, they switched Cheddar on him with those switches, and Gillespie felt like he could do something, and he did.
Cadeau right at Gillespie with the right hand. No, carrying the rebound to the ground. And we have a whistle, and a foul is called on Michigan. Cadeau is whistled for his first.
I think
That's
Dusty May was thinking travel. Let's see what happens. Brown gets the rebound, and he trips over Cadeau.
Tough call against Cadeau there. Talked with Cadeau yesterday and his competitive juices, and he admitted that sometimes if he misses a shot or gets called for a bad foul, that he has a retaliation foul. That's something that he's tried to work on as Michigan's called for another foul here. Second on Roddy Gale.
I've seen a lot more physicality in this game than I saw on that play there, I can tell you that.
So here goes Estrella. Burnett back. Gale goes out with the 2 fouls and 2:21 on the clock. Another missed Tennessee free throw.
Can nobody make 2 foul shots anymore?
I haven't seen
It's
it here in
unbelievable.
Chicago.
Oh,
Has a lane, and he misses the lay-in. He was between a dunk and a layup.
Absolutely.
Comes up empty, and Gillespie flies the other way, and he misses a layup.
Yeah, Landenborg, he was thinking about dunking that one.
Sends it out to McKinney. His 3 won't go, and Boswell clears. Gillespie was open in the corner. Instead, Carey goes to the basket and scores again.
Yeah, Carey's working now. He had Trey McKinney on him, and that's why they threw it into him right away. That was a good play by Tennessee.
6 straight points wakes up the Volunteers fans here in Chicago. They're on their feet behind the Tennessee bench. Lendeborg wants the screen from Cheddar. He's going to take a 3. Halfway down and out, and it falls in the lap of Boswell. Tennessee trying to cut into the deficit here before the half. Ament.
They need to get Ament involved.
Gillespie, a step back, 4-3. Won't go, and Boswell over the back going for the rebound. That would have been a big bucket for Tennessee, but Gillespie is now 2 of 11 from the floor.
Yeah, I mean, it was a heck of a move. Not the easiest shot in the world. You're going to see here the step back. He loses. Damari Barnett can't make it.
Last year, Gillespie at Maryland, and he played Michigan twice. And Dusty May was looking back at that scouting report, which worked very well. 2 games last year against Michigan. Gillespie averaged 9 points per game, but he was 6 of 22 from the floor. And today he's 2 for 11.
Well, they're making him work for everything, and all these switches have been effective. You know, big guys switching to him who move their feet and can stay on him.
Michigan had missed its last 5 free throws before Cheddar knocked that one in. Damari Burnett calls Will Cheddar the heart and soul of Michigan. And there you go. You ask for somebody to make 2 free throws. Michigan does it. Foul situation deep here in the first half. Ament to Estrella.
Tough pass.
Estrella goes up, lost it. Cadeau takes it away. And now Cadeau wants to fly up ahead. Great speed for the New Jersey native. Leaves it for Burnett. Extra pass to Lendeborg. And Dusty May calls timeout to set up the D. Everything going Michigan's way in the first half. 45 points before halftime for the Wolverines. In the last 10.5 minutes, Michigan has outscored Tennessee 31-10.
Yeah, I mean, it's been brutal. 9 for 37 from the field for Tennessee. The defense has been off the charts for Michigan. And the other thing is, Tennessee normally is a very good transition defense team. That transition defense is getting picked apart here in the last 10 minutes of this half.
Three-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock.
Now we got this pressure with Lendeborg up top. 6'9", makes it pretty tough. They got to try and hold this thing as long as they can and run the clock as far down as they can and get out of here and talk at halftime.
Estrella right to the basket, went up high on Cheddar and missed it, and now Michigan could get the last shot.
They're going to. After what Mara did yesterday, I guarantee you they're going to get the last shot. I mean, on Friday.
Cadeau over to Lendeborg.
Nope.
To McKinney. Good! Gillespie at the horn. Michigan rolling in Chicago. McKinney the three. A 34-10 run over the last 11 minutes, and Michigan is one half away from going to its 9th Final Four. Evans with Yaxel.
Yaxel, I don't know if I can give you a minute. I'll give you a few seconds to catch your breath. You didn't score for the first 6 minutes and 30 seconds of this game. You scored 15 in the remaining time. What changed for you?
The first 6 minutes, I had to realize what the defense was doing. They were pretty much packed in on my ball screens. I didn't really have no angle, so I started passing the ball a little bit more. And, you know, I started getting easier looks on the fast break. I had a lot of one-on-one opportunities with big guys chasing me. So I'm going to keep attacking fast break and then let the rest come my way.
When you're up this big at half, what do you have to guard against as a group to avoid them coming back?
We got to guard against ourselves, man. We've been in this position way too many times. We let off all the gas because we think the game's over. We got to come in the second half with the score 0-0 and continue to dominate these boys, man. They can't compete.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Tennessee shoots 23% in the first half. Michigan up big. AT&T at the half is coming up after these messages. Start of the second half here in Chicago as we take a look at the Great Clips first half stats. Michigan shoots 52% from the floor. They're up 48-26. And courtside with Steve Lapis, I'm Andrew Catalan. We'll hear from Evan Washburn in a moment. That was an absolute clinic by the Wolverines.
On both ends. When you have a score where you're up 22 at halftime, you're doing it on both ends of the floor. The defense has been tremendous, but the offense, the extra passes, keeping the ball in the middle of the floor, getting dribble penetration, causing them to help and kicking it and being unselfish. That's what Michigan did that entire first half. On both ends of the floor, that was a clinic.
Lendeborg did not have a turnover in the first half. And Michigan begins the second half with the ball, one half away from going to the Final Four. That's in Indianapolis next weekend.
And, you know, when you're in this situation that Tennessee's in, you got to just worry about 4-minute increments. Try and cut this down to 15 at the 16-minute mark and take the game 4 minutes at a time.
Mara misses, and the rebound to Gillespie.
And you certainly got to play a little bit more up-tempo.
You go back to the regional final last year for Tennessee against Houston, and they've been outscored in the first half of their last two regional finals, 82-41. And they had really 15 at the half against Houston last year.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it looks. It looks very similar, and the job they've done on Amen of too strong, Lendeborg.
He missed it, but he follows his miss. 15 for Lendeborg.
And this switching defense has been very effective. They have so many versatile guys. The only guy is Mara, is the only guy who's not really versatile defensively.
Estrella connects. Now, because of the foul trouble, Estrella played close to 17 minutes in the first half. He was one of the few that wasn't in foul trouble. He only averages 18 minutes a game, so he's a guy to keep an eye on here in the second half for Tennessee.
Yeah, like you said, Opara and Carey were in foul, had some foul issues. Another layup.
Let's check in with Evan Washburn.
Well, guys, there's no magic answer when you're down 22 at half. But Rick Barnes, like Lap said we have to treat it like a series of 4-minute games, just keep pecking away. He felt like their issues on offense led to poor defense, especially in transition. If nothing, they always have to get back to avoid what's happening right now.
That's a great point, Evan, and that's really what happened. Their transition defense was not good. How about this?
Oh, Mora the three! His third of the year, and the Michigan fans love it here in Chicago.
Not the start Tennessee was looking for to start this second half.
Gillespie trying to answer, and he does. Third three of the game for Jacoby Gillespie, who did not come out in the first half.
And Rick Barnes made a great point. Obviously, he knows better than all of us that they were so bad in transition that they were kind of one pass always short. Somebody would get in the lane, and then they'd always be behind the whole possession.
Mara had it poked away, and a turnover. And sometimes you look to the three to try to get out of a deep hole as Gillespie hits again, and he's the one guy that is capable of getting hot from deep.
Hey, we saw how electric he was against Virginia in the second round of the NCAA tournament when he had 29 points. He is that kind of player.
He had 29 against Miami, 21 against UVA, and they need him big time here in the second half. 5 to shoot.
Lendeborg strong in there on Amen.
Burnett from the corner. And the rebound grabbed by Johnson, but he was out of bounds, and it's Tennessee ball.
And this, you know, Dusty May, his big message at halftime was to keep the pedal to the metal. And sometimes it's just natural that you're not able to keep that same. You played so well in the first half. It's hard not to lose a little bit of that, but they've got to keep their intensity going.
Akpara from the free throw line, it won't go, and Cadeau the rebound.
Not going to get an easier look than that.
Yaxel flying through! The full Yaxel!
There's another example of the transition defense of Tennessee not being ready.
Amen from the baseline. And those offensive rebounds have dried up for Tennessee. Burnett a transition three. It's good! The Chicago native with a triple from the outside.
You know, Michigan came out looking to push the tempo because Tennessee didn't want to, and they have controlled it all the way.
Oh, with the block. That's his second block of the game, and he now has 100 on the season. He's just the second Big Ten player with 400 points, 250 rebounds, and 100 blocks in a season. Greg Oden of Ohio State is the other. And a standing ovation from the Michigan fans here in Chicago. Yaxel parting the seas, throwing it down. Wolverines in cruise control. It's the Michael Jordan statue, and there's a number 23 who's lighting it up right now.
Yeah, the transition has been unbelievable. When you hold a team to 27% shooting and you defensive rebound, which, by the way, they've done magnificently after the first 5 minutes of the game, you're going to get out in transition a lot.
Burnett, another three, and it won't go. Carry the rebound for Tennessee. Nate Amen is 1 for 9, and he has missed his last 7 shots, and he's back on the bench for the Volunteers. Gillespie from the outside. Lendeborg. Why not?
I mean, he's making the game look really easy. I'll tell you that. Probably is for him. That's why he's so good.
Roddy Gale said, we have the best player in the country, but we also have the most unselfish player in the country.
You know what? There's nothing better than to have your teammates say something like that about you. That's why this team is so good. No jealousy. They're in it to win it.
He has scored or assisted on 33 points, which is one fewer than Tennessee has. Cadeau from the outside. That's going to be no good. And a fight for the rebound. And Morez Johnson and Amari Evans still fighting for it.
Yeah, they got to be careful. Oh, that was not good what Jalen Brown did.
Jalen Carey.
Jalen Carey.
Dusty May right in the middle of it, trying to get cooler heads to prevail.
Yeah, I mean, you're Dusty May. You're up 30 points, 29. You don't want to lose somebody for fighting in the Final Four, like Morris Johnson. And, you know, a lot of times when those situations come out, things happen. Dusty May did the right thing there.
Evans and Johnson, the whistle is blown.
Yeah.
They're still fighting for it. Exchanging words. There you see Dusty May getting in there right away.
Good for him. Roddy Gale jumping in there and grabbing Johnson.
All right, here's Jalen Carey coming in.
He's going to get a dead ball technical contact technical foul. That I'm telling you. That they may, I don't know if they're going to toss him, but that's going to be a contact dead ball technical foul. I don't think anything will happen to Johnson or Evans. I don't think. But Carey, definitely.
Morez Johnson did a good job to keep his cool. That could have escalated pretty quickly.
Very good job, because when you're holding the ball like that with somebody else, and that could have become something. And give Dusty May credit for jumping in quick. You don't want to derail a season for some just losing your cool.
Gene Steratore is with us. And Gene, what do you think will happen with Jalen Carey?
I think Carey will definitely get a dead ball contact tech for the action we're viewing right now. Now I do believe they'll also naturally scrub everything from the time the ball was tied up. And then they are looking to see, is there any unsporting behavior? Is there any verbiage? Anything to that nature? And then they're going to do everything they can to make sure they get any of the perpetrators at this point so that these players know that whatever action they had is going punished right now.
We have a dead ball contact technical foul on 23 for Tennessee. We'll shoot 2 shots. Anyone can shoot the 2 shots for Michigan.
All right, good call, Gene. And an easy one. Carey called for the technical. And Lendeborg will be at the free throw line for Michigan to add to his total.
Yeah, I don't think anything happened between Johnson and Evans. Obviously, what Carey did, contact dead ball technical.
And the foul on Carey is his 4th. So he's on the bench with 14 minutes to go.
And, you know, it was good for Michigan that all that happened in front of their bench in terms of Dusty was able to get out there quick. I'm not saying something would have happened, but it helped.
Lendeborg has at least 23 points for the 3rd consecutive NCAA tournament game. The last player to have 4 straight 23-point games, Juwan Howard with Michigan back in 1994. And another Tennessee foul, this one on Estrella.
He sure looks like a man on a mission.
So Johnson back at the free throw line. 3 points, 4 rebounds today so far for Johnson. Headed to Indianapolis, download the Men's Final Four event app presented by AT&T to help you plan, enjoy, and take part in all the excitement of the weekend. Available for iOS and Android.
Think about how good this team is, though, Andrew. Morris Johnson hasn't really done anything the last couple of games. He's their 2nd leading scorer, and they're doing what they're doing.
I think what you saw from Michigan is that they can beat you in so many different ways. You want to play high pace, we can do that. You want to slow it down and get the big men involved, we can do that. They can throw so many different things at you. There's not one matchup that I think that they're going to be intimidated by.
Being able to play at 2 speeds is so critical in the NCAA tournament because you play against different styles all the time. Somebody wants to slow it up, somebody wants to speed it up. Michigan can play both those styles, no problem. Michigan has also so many weapons that even Lendeborg doesn't have to play great all the time because they got so many other pieces that are capable.
Akpara with the basket, and for Felix, that's his first field goal of the afternoon. And he's on the court right now with his former freshman year roommate at Ohio State. Akpara and Roddy Gale of Michigan remain very good friends to this day. Lendeborg has 25.
Yeah, Cadeau saw Berg on Lendeborg and knew he could get it down to him.
Lendeborg has still not come out at all.
That's the other thing. This guy doesn't get tired. That's a skill, too, let me tell you. You're going to see the mismatch down low with 6'4" Berg on Lendeborg. They do a good job of recognizing it. Just throw it up there, Lendeborg says, and he'll get it.
Amen continues to sit for Rick Barnes. Berg from 3, and the long rebound right to Akpara. Wide open is Evans. Nope. Tennessee still shooting 26% for the game. Cadeau lost it. Gillespie with Berg up ahead, and Berg had it blocked by Lendeborg, but Brown is there to clean it up. First time Michigan's been in the Elite Eight since 2021 when they lost to UCLA, but they're on the verge of advancing to their 9th Final Four. It'll be the first since 2018 when they were the runner-up against Villanova. Lendeborg follows his miss and puts it in.
Well, if I'm going to miss it, I might as well go get it and lay it in.
His parents love it. Gillespie off glass. Gillespie with 14 points. Cadeau to McKinney, fakes the 3, dribbles in closer, and knocks out another.
This guy has one of the best strokes in the country.
Grew up a huge Michigan fan in Flint, Michigan. He's the only player from Michigan on the Wolverines roster. And Yaxel Lendeborg said no freshman wall for this guy. In fact, the game has slowed down for him here in March as Gillespie scores 2 more. Lendeborg has not picked it up yet.
I guess he wants the full shot clock.
Still won't pick it up.
Why not? I don't understand this.
I think he was just looking for a breather. Remember, he told Evan he needed a minute before the interview. As Michigan turns it over, Lendeborg getting back. Gillespie going up. Okay.
Lendeborg said, okay, all right, that was good. I see you. I see you, Jacoby.
Foul on Lendeborg as well. And Gillespie still fighting for the balls. We're back. A look at our game summary. Michigan still shooting above 50% for the day. But that last play has this crowd buzzing a little bit as Gillespie went up, threw it down, and Lendeborg called for the foul. And Lendeborg quick to acknowledge him. Yeah, you got me there. Evan has more on Lendeborg.
Yeah, we're seeing the personality of Yaxel throughout this game. And if you look on his leg there, he's got a pretty cool tattoo of the Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix character He got that 2 prior to the season. He said he could kind of relate to the character. He feels like he's misunderstood in a lot of ways, has taken on a bit of a villain status, and he's embraced it, but he feels, again, like it's not necessarily who he is. And interesting enough, guys, in that last huddle, Dusty May really challenged his group. Felt like they lacked discipline in that last 3-minute stretch. He wants them to finish this game the right way. There's clearly a standard that they're not playing to right now.
McKinney is fouled shooting the 3.
And good sportsmanship by Brown, helping him up off the floor.
3rd foul on Brown. And now Nate Ament is going to come back. Ament injured his leg and knee in late February, and a projected NBA lottery pick. A lot of people could have just shut it down, but he said it was important for him to get back. He said he had more to give, and the no Final Fours at Tennessee, he said that really stuck with him. He wanted to come here to Tennessee to try to help them change that. And he also was telling us yesterday just about the coaching of Rick Barnes. He said, I needed to increase my motor, and I'm a completely different player now than when I first arrived in Knoxville.
You know, I'm going to tell you this, Andrew. Talking to the kids from both teams yesterday, I was so impressed. I was so impressed with Ament. I was so impressed with Lendeborg. These guys are so mature, the way they spoke. It was really good to hear, all of them. And Mara was a little bit of a comedian, too, which was good.
Ament sat for almost 5 minutes, and he's back on the floor with 10:19 to go. Gillespie 5 out of 6 here in the second half. Ament trying to work on Lendeborg. Shot clock at 7.
Pretty good defensive set by Michigan in this possession. Wow.
Berg lost it, has to throw one up. Gale got a piece of it from behind. Great defense by the Wolverines.
And let's face it, Tennessee, they don't want to waste the whole shot clock being down this many points. That was just great Michigan defense.
And to your point about meeting with both of the student athletes yesterday, what's impressive to me is how quickly they get connected in this era of the transfer portal. They basically have a new team almost every year. It's guys like Roddy Gale from Michigan, a holdover from last year, as Dusty May was telling us, that he was really important to help build the chemistry of the new players, teaching the guys the culture, educating them on the expectations. But in today's basketball in college, you need a guy like that, a whole new team. It might take them a while to gel.
100%. The old days, you had juniors and seniors that have been in your program 2 and 3 years to help you do that.
A tie-up is called. It'll be Tennessee ball.
Now, these teams get together in June. They're all new guys, except obviously for Burnett, who was back. And, you know, that he's got to help tie it together.
Cadeau transferring from North Carolina, went over 1,000 points for his career earlier in the first half. Will Cheddar, another one of those guys from Michigan, helping to teach the new guys the culture this year. Quick foul against the Wolverines. It's the second on Cadeau.
And, you know, we didn't talk much because we've been talking about Lendeborg so much, but Cadeau, his improvement this year as a shooter.
Akpara with a strong take.
That was a strong move. But Cadeau's improvement as a shooter, when he was in North Carolina, I thought he was a non-shooter. This year, he's shooting 38% from the three-point line. He's become a shooter, taking better shots, and really has improved his game tremendously.
We asked him what's the difference after shooting 18% from deep as a freshman, as Lendeborg misfires from 3, and then a foul going for the rebound. That's going to be on Tennessee. And Cadeau said that the coaching staff has given him confidence and freedom to go out there, and if he misses a couple, to keep shooting, and he said that has meant the world to him.
Yeah, and I think also he's taking more threes that he can make, and that's what Dusty May was studying when they were recruiting him from the portal.
He can also still distribute the basketball. He has 8 assists today and at least 7 assists in all 4 NCAA tournament games this year. Don't forget UConn and Duke coming up next here on CBS. Lendeborg misses, and the rebound to Gillespie, and a foul is called on Michigan. No foul. They're just saying that he was out of bounds, so Tennessee ball with 9 minutes to go. Gillespie with 7 to shoot. Brown right through the lane, lost it going up. Akpara cleans it up.
I think Brown is going to be a good player too.
Rick Barnes said he's been the biggest surprise of the season, the freshman from Hoover, Alabama, and the way that he has come on here in the second half of the season, I should say. Don't forget the winner will play Arizona, as Johnson gets it to go with the foul.
Good roll to the basket on that pick and roll. Nobody gets to him, and a good finish there by Morris Johnson.
His first field goal of the day. It was 4 of 6 from the line, and gets that one to drop. A chance at 3 for Morris Johnson Jr. Second team all Big Ten by the coaches, and a member of the Big Ten all defensive team this year.
I mean, he's their second high scorer. Now, I mean, he's still been defending, he's still rebounding, but he hasn't scored like he has all year. Ament can really handle for 6'10".
Off balance jumper goes in. A chance at 3 for Nate Ament. His second field goal of the day.
I mean, he averages 7 free throws a game. You can see there, 6'10" with that kind of ball handling ability. Gets the N1.
Lendeborg gets a big hand as he goes out. First time that Lendeborg has gone to the bench. He could stay there the rest of the day.
I doubt it.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay.
To go to the Final Four, up 20. I understand they're up 24. I get it. I bet she comes back in.
And Jeffrey Anderson stopping play.
Matter of fact, we can make a bet if you want.
Okay. After what I saw last night, I'm going to have a feeling dessert is involved.
Oh, geez.
Strawberry cake you ordered is bigger than this whole court. Ament is called for a foul there. It was his 3rd.
All right, that's it. I got to call you out on something while we're doing this for the last 8 minutes.
It'll send Burnett to the line. Freshman year of high school here at Morgan Park in Chicago, and then 3 years at Prolific Prep. Ament had that field goal go in. It was his first bucket since 3:15 into the game. And we said it right off the top. If Tennessee was going to pull the upset today, they needed monster games from Gillespie and Ament. And Ament, between the foul trouble and just being a little bit off, only 7 points for Ament.
And the truth is, the physicality of Michigan and how good a defensive team they are. He's a freshman. He's not that physically strong yet. They were going to make him have to earn it, and it was a tough day for him.
Gillespie for 3. Estrella rips down the board, but Cadeau pokes it away. Michigan shooting 53% from the floor before that miss, and Akpara the rebound. Ament defeating Estrella. Mara clipped them from behind. And that'll take us to a timeout with 7:20 to go. Michigan still cruising along. They can taste Indianapolis. I guess I owe you something. What is it, like a giant pie or ice cream sundae?
I told you, all right, there he is.
Lendeborg is back.
Lendeborg is back, that's it.
27 points today, the most by a Wolverine in a regional final since Juwan Howard had 30 in 1994.
I'm cashing in on that, too.
Okay. I'd be happy to buy that.
And I was even going to go on a limb and say Dusty was taking him out before the media so he could just rest him and get him back in after the media timeout. I didn't put myself on a limb like I should have.
Well, we know that one famous 23 is in the rafters, and another 23 has been playing lights out today, really all season for Michigan. As the officials are at the monitor looking at the number of fouls on Michigan. They want to confirm how many have been called this half against the Wolverines. Well, the last number 6 seed to make the Final Four was the Fab Five. 92 Michigan, as Akbara misses in tight. And one of those players, Jalen Rose, is going to give the spring commencement speech in Ann Arbor. So a big honor for Jalen Rose as Mara is called for his 4th foul.
They called the foul on Mara there?
Let's see what happened with Mara.
I mean, if anything, Okpara went over the back.
Mara has a laugh about it. You mentioned his sense of humor when we met with him yesterday. We asked him, did the play of Vlad Golden or Danny Wolf last year influence your decision to want to transfer to Michigan? And he said, yeah, when I was at UCLA and we played Michigan, I had a great view of both of them from the bench. Wasn't playing, so I got to see them in action. Cheddar.
What a rebound.
Lendeborg misses the follow. Tip not there. Estrella is able to prevail. Ament for 3. And tipped out. And it is Michigan basketball. Well, Michigan has scored 90 points in each of their first 3 NCAA tournament games. They do it again here today. They only need 12. They would tie the NCAA tournament record for the most consecutive 90-point games in one tournament. Hasn't been done since UConn in 1995.
And here's the crazy thing. I think their defense has been better than their offense. I guarantee you that that's what Dusty May talks about after the game.
Ooh, Johnson fighting his way and draws the foul. And for Ament, that's going to be his 4th. So Johnson back at the line where he's 4 of 7 today. Well, if you're headed to Indianapolis, download the men's Final Four event app presented by AT&T to help you plan, enjoy, and take part in all the excitement of the weekend. Available for iOS and Android.
You know, whenever I watch a team, Andrew, like a really good team like this Michigan team, I always try to say, you know, what would I do to try and beat them? Like, what don't they do? I don't know what they don't do, to be honest with you. They guard, they run, they shoot, they can post up. They got a very versatile, tremendous player. I don't know. This team is, I don't know what they don't have. And you know what they don't have? Probably a backup point guard who tore his ACL, who was playing great.
Gale hits the three. The ninth three of the game for Michigan.
If Kaysen plays, I mean, he was playing great too. Tore his ACL.
Late February at Illinois. You know, our statistician Ethan Cooperson was diving into the numbers, trying to find some type of weakness, like you were just saying about Michigan, and there really aren't any. I mean, when they're up at the half, they're 27-1. You know, this is the one thing he found. When Michigan scores at least 9 fast break points, they're 26-0. Fewer than 9 fast break points, 8-3. All 3 of their losses when they didn't get out in the break that much. But again, that is very picky, and there's not really a weakness on their team.
And you know what? It's picky because does that speak to them not playing as good a defense and getting rebounds and going and being able to get it up the floor? You know, what does that speak to? I understand the number, but why did that number come about? That's the question.
20 fast break points today for the Wolverines. And a heavyweight matchup on deck against Arizona.
Listen, I'm not taking anything away from Duke. I'm not taking anything from Illinois. But I think the 2 best teams in the country are Michigan and Arizona. Because Arizona does have the front line to match up with the size and physicality of Michigan. And they also have pretty good guards, too. Jaden Bradley was the player of the year in the Big 12. That is going to be an unbelievable semifinal game.
Johnson, the jam. Duke still has to get by UConn.
I understand
today. Do you want to bet again?
Well, no, no, and the only reason I didn't put UConn in that category is I think when we think of the season as a whole, Duke, Arizona, and Michigan were the 3 of the 4 best teams all year. Florida was probably 4th, and I think UConn was in that next section. Now, could they beat Duke today? Absolutely they can. But I thought they were more in the 5 to 8 category nationally.
Michigan fans with a big ovation as we have 4.5 to go. 7 Wolverines have scored at least 8 points today. Cadeau, the lob. Johnson had a tough time catching it, but that's because he was fouled.
Morez Johnson just rolling to the basket here.
Michigan has attempted 31 free throws today to this point. 16 free throw attempts for Tennessee. And for Dusty May, he's on the verge of becoming just the 6th coach to lead 2 programs to the Final Four in a span of 4 seasons. Went with Florida Atlantic in 23 and about to do it again. And now you're going to tell me he's done?
Now he's out.
Okay, all right.
Now he's done.
I think the fans think that as well. 27 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and no turnovers in 35 minutes for Yaxel Lundborg.
What a game.
And Johnson comes out to a nice ovation as well, with Mara back on the floor.
Now if you're Dusty May, you just want these 4 minutes to go fast without anybody getting hurt.
Akpara, nice touch. I'm not sure one player would have made a difference in this first half, the way that Michigan has looked, but Akpara picking up those early fouls was a big issue for Tennessee. And a cylinder call there with 3:50 to go. That's all that stands between Michigan and the Final Four. Coming up next on CBS, Cameron Boozer and Duke go toe-to-toe against Dan Hurley and UConn. Should be a great game. 5:05 Eastern Time tip. with Ian Eagle, Bill Raftery, Grant Hill, and Tracy Wolfson. Here in Chicago, a look at our game reset. We want to give a big thanks to the men and women on our phenomenal crew that we've been with throughout March, led by producer Jonathan Siegel and director Andy Goldberg. Steve Lapis, Evan Washburn, I'm Andrew Catalan. 3:50 to go. Wolverines 87, Volunteers 56. The last team to win a regional final by at least 30 points was Cincinnati in 1992 against Memphis. Gillespie with the left hand, and for Tennessee, Lap, third straight year in the Elite Eight, third straight year they come up short. What do you think about this Tennessee program?
You know, oh, it's a great program. I mean, Rick Barnes, one of the best in the country. Obviously, it can't feel good to have the most wins in the NCAA tournament without ever getting to a Final Four, which is so odd in a lot of ways with a program that's won as many games as Tennessee over the years. But he's brought them to... Now you see Cadeau and Mara getting a big hand, but he's brought them to so great heights. 3 Elite Eights in a row. I mean, that is really, really hard. And every one of those losses in the Elite Eight has come to a 1 seed. Got to have a little luck, too, you know what I mean? It helps to have a little luck. Maybe the 1 seed gets knocked off one of these times and you play somebody else. He's played the 1 seed all 3 times in the Elite Eight.
Florida from 2011 to 2013, the only other team now to lose in the Elite Eight in 3 consecutive years. Oscar Goodman from New Zealand has checked in for Michigan. He's got the ball here. Gillespie poked it away. Goodman gets it back and scores. The rejection.
That was great.
Burnett is fouled by Ament, and that will be 5 on Ament. Future is very bright for that young man. A McDonald's All-American. Averaged 17 points and 6 rebounds a game in his freshman season at Tennessee. And checking in for Michigan is the son of head coach Dusty May. That's Charlie May, who's about to get some run as Roddy Gale heads out. Dusty is surrounded by family because his other son, Eli, is a student manager for Michigan. Mom, Anna, is here, and their third son, Jack, is in the video department with the Miami Heat. We asked Dusty about having 2 of his sons with him every day, one as a player, one as a manager, and he said, I feel like I've been making up for lost time. There's so many times as a coach when you miss things with your kids, but to have 2 of them with me every day, I let them be themselves, but at the same time, it is very special for
Absolutely.
me.
You know, you're away so much that he's at least with them every day.
And Michigan has hit 90 for the 4th straight game in this tournament. First team to do that since UConn in 1995. And they're going to be the first team to score 90 in 4 straight and win all 4 by double figures.
I know Dusty's got to get McKinney out of there, and he's got to get Burnett out of there.
Evans commits the foul. Dusty May, a finalist for Naismith Coach of the Year. He was already named Big Ten Coach of the Year. Sixth school to score at least 90 in 4 games of the same tournament. as Howard Isley Jr. checks in. His dad spent 12 years in the NBA, former Michigan assistant.
He did a number on me when he was at Boston College. I do remember him well.
There's always a point in the game where we get to the lap skeletons. And now we know that Howard Isley is one.
Yes, he's definitely one.
Goodman with the steal. Evans trying to race back, and he takes it away with 90 seconds to go in the game. Brown and one. There's Charlie May, who commits the foul. He did hit a three-pointer earlier in the season. Well, Dusty May said he wanted to play here in Chicago. More than 25,000 Michigan alums live in the area, as Brown has the dunk. And we asked Yaxel Lendeborg yesterday, what have you learned about this Michigan fan base? He said they're super loyal, they're passionate, as Isley Jr. misses. And he said, I love playing for them. And you got to imagine they're going to show up in a big way next week. May, a three! May Day in Chicago! The reaction of the Michigan bench after that three went in tells you all you need to know about how close this team is. Isley Jr., his three won't go. Shot clock turned off in the final 10 seconds here of the regional final. Evans a three. Hail, hail to Michigan. The Wolverines are on to the Final Four. Largest margin of victory in a regional final since 1989, when Michigan beat Virginia by 37. Of course, that year Michigan went on to win the national title, and they are 2 wins away from doing that again. 95-62 the final. Evan will be with the winners right after this on CBS. Back in Chicago, Michigan wins 95-62. They will play Arizona on Saturday in the Final Four. One spot remains between Duke and UConn at 5:05 Eastern here on CBS. And Evan is with the Wolverines.
Dusty, congratulations. What do you appreciate about what your team has done?
Just how much they've given to each other and how they become such a unit. It's a special group.
It's not as easy as you guys made it look, but what are we witnessing with the group you put together?
I mean, we have a chance to win 2 more games if we do what we're supposed to do. We have a sign in our locker room that says April Habits. Since this group got together this summer, we've been trying to develop the championship habits that would allow us to turn the calendar into April and continue playing games, and we have an opportunity to do that.
Coach, thanks. Good luck in Indianapolis and Arizona. Yaxel, come on in here. Dominant once again in this game. If I told you 6 years ago, with where you were in your life and your basketball career, that you'd be leading Michigan to the Final Four, you would have told me what?
I would say you're crazy, man. Don't talk bad about me like that, man. And I would never believe in a million years.
You've said this is the best Michigan team of all time. What does Indianapolis and Arizona have in store next week?
Man, you got a real physical team, a team that plays together, and a team that's going to do anything to win.
Morez, you got thoughts?
Let's go get them!
Good stuff, Evan. The Wolverines are all smiles as they are 2 wins away from their 2nd national title in program history. For Steve Lapis, Evan Washburn, Gene Steratore, and our entire crew, I'm Andrew Catalan saying so long from Chicago. Coming up next on CBS, UConn and Duke. We'll send you to our studio for Capital One Tournament Central right after these messages.